Hi there. We're back into the real City Skylines Height Mapped Intermediate series, and we're in episode 89, and we're back in the real game. And I think that it's safe to be here now. Well, at least I hope so. Now I've been playing around in it just to be sure that it worked, and in the process, you can see that the college is here below us, and the little park that we had, and then previously down here there was nothing until you got way out here to where the business district was. This was just all empty, and all of this was empty on the right. So I filled all that in because the game was asking for a lot of residential, and I figured I better give it to it. And I put in all of these buildings, the apartments in the back behind the college. So we have that's new now. We also have, oh, I think I gave it away. I was trying to do this right and I hit the wrong button. I wanted to give you a nice sunny view of it. We also have up above all of these new buildings that I was just showing you, and the new parks. We now have the Rotterdam building. Big, huge building. Now, it's supposed to have 240 residential. It's supposed to be able to hold 240 residents, but when I click on it, I just put it in. When I click on it, it just says visitors and tourists and tells you how many. I need to find out why. I don't know if it's because they just haven't moved in yet, or if it's because I have to get that Rico mod and say that I want it to be residential. I have no idea. I have just started this thing, but I thought, you know what? That's a great way to get in as many residences. I mean, look how big this thing is compared to all the others. That baby should be able to hold everything, all the residents that are down here in this other line behind. You should be able to hold that many more, or pretty close. 240 is a lot. So that's our new thing here. And I've also, because I switched in the process of trying to figure out what was wrong, I did switch to the districts mod instead of the enhanced hearses and garbage trucks that I had before by Akira Ishikara. Now, there's nothing wrong with his or her mod. It's just that it wasn't doing what I needed. I needed all the service buildings to be stuck in the zone that I put them in. We're headed over here to the industrial area that also has, you know, that big residential area in it. Here we go. Okay, so now this area here, get up where we can see it a little better, was at one time all one zoned area. I had industrial right here on the right side of the freeway, and then I had residential on the left side, but it was all zoned together. And I wasn't getting my garbage pickup as well as I needed. I was wind up with a lot of sick and dead people. So I split the zoning. So now the industrial is one zone and the residential is another zone. And the residential has 3 areas in it. There's one down here and one along here, where the little red line is going, and one up here. And the one at the top has its own garbage, although once it gets through this line, it goes and picks up everywhere inside the zone. And the one over here covers the other 2 or 3. So that's probably the only, oh, I did make one other change. Just to get you caught up to where oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get out of the zoning here for a minute so I can move. Okay. and get my finger off the F key, which I always use instead of the D, and it gets me nowhere. Okay, so up here, I was having problems also with a lot of garbage not being picked up. And what I did was, this whole big plateau up here was one plateau, and the garbage trucks from over here were running all the way over here, and the garbage trucks from over here were running all the way over here, so I split it. It is now the Upper Dam District, right here, and the Briarwood Heights District. And although I'm still having some garbage problems with that, so you can see a little bit of red here, it's not as bad as it was before. This whole area down in this big circle here, big flat area, it was all red. It was nasty. So I made that change. I put in some extra farming out here in this area, as you can see. Get out of the garbage. Okay, put in a little extra farming here, a little extra farming here. Just catching you guys up, okay? As soon as I get done with this, I moved the garbage for the forestry department, which is right here, from way over here to here in the hopes that it would, right down here in the middle, in the hopes that it would be closer so it wouldn't take so long. I'm just trying to tidy things up and get the zones working with this new district mod is what I'm doing at this point. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, let's hop back over here. And I also put in another line down here of commercial. Big buildings are supposed to be anyway, big buildings right here, and little buildings, and they all look like the same buildings, because I guess when you say you want it to be nightlife, they're all the same. It doesn't matter which ones you put in. Although I think these other big ones pay more, I'm not sure. And that nightlife area is, if you go over I don't know if you remember this one or not, it's been so long. We had just started building it with just this line right here, and it is across the hill from, you got it, the college town. Okay, so I guess we'll start out here in the college town. I'm just gonna do a little jump onto somebody who's headed out from our new neighborhood. Okay, see if I can grab someone. Get down in here far enough to where I can get a hold of someone who's going the right. I know what I want to do, I just can't seem to get. Okay, come on, you can do it. Here we go. Okay. I guess I have to go up here further. Can I get down in there better? Aha! This lady is just now getting in her vehicle. So we're going to go with her. She's driving to work at Goods Unlimited. And I'm hoping... Well, I need to adjust this so it's back a ways. Maybe not that far back. Goodness, I should have done this off camera. Hold on a second. Okay, I've got it adjusted as good as I can anyway. So we know that this is Kathleen Cook. She's going to Goods Unlimited, wherever that is. And it's where she works. And so we'll just jump into the camera now and turn off the little box so we don't see it all the time. And turn the, there she goes, getting in the car. It's weird that they do it that way, but, better than nothing. Okay, Kathleen is headed to work at a store, Goods Unlimited, which I don't think is a store. I think Goods Unlimited is in the industrial area. It's a manufacturer of goods. So she's headed a long way, and she's going up on the hill. Instead of turning around and going back out the other way, she's taking the new road up onto the top of the hill. She'll go right by the new Rotterdam building. I don't know how much we can see out of her car. Ooh, quite a lot. Okay, cool. Well, this is always fun. Okay. This is so nice being back in my real game. This is City Skylines HeightMapped Intermediate series. It's the one that we made from the map of Scotland, of a little piece of Scotland, and then revised way at the beginning of this series, 88 episodes ago. And it's nice to be back in it. And I think most everything is working pretty well. We're bouncing a little bit back and forth between people getting sick and people not getting sick, people dying and people not but dying. The commercial areas are asking for goods, saying that they're not getting enough goods, which means we need more industry. And the forestry department is saying it needs more commercial because it's not getting enough requests for it's all kind of interlinked, and so I have to get the industrial areas working well because that's going to keep everything else from tanking. So we'll the industrial area is buying goods from the forestry department to make goods for the commercial area, and it just goes on like that. And of course the nightlife area is demanding more residential because they don't have enough people, because a lot of them died, because when I first opened up the game, my districts were set, my zoned areas were set for Akira's mod, which didn't work the same as districts does, the districts mod. So while I was figuring that out, people were getting sick and dying, so but I think it's gotten back up to where it's we're going to be doing okay, I hope. And okay, so now we're coming back down in to the beginning of the roads. Isn't that pretty fountain over on the right? That's such a pretty fountain. I love that it actually has flowing water. I just think that is so neat. I put a bunch of them here in the college because I figured, college people, they like things that are really fancy, right? I guess. And so made it a little bit nicer. Now that Rotterdam building, that great big building that we drove by just a little bit ago, it's a mod, but don't plop it into your city thinking that you can just plop it and go. It requires a lot of weekly maintenance cost, upkeep. So when you get it, you have to tweak the little button at the top, go into the tools and then go into the assets, load that asset, tweak it a little bit so that it doesn't have the button. There's a little round button at the very top. I forget what it says. At the very top of the data box, once you open up that asset, and it's lit up. And basically it says that you have to reach a certain level or something, I guess. And so I tweaked that off. And there's an area that says how much it costs to purchase the building and then how much it costs to run the building. And the building is extremely expensive to run. So I tweaked that down to the point that it doesn't require a lot of income anymore, a lot of money from the city anymore for maintenance. I figured, hey, you know what? That building has people in it that are making money off of it, and it's paying its taxes already to the city. It shouldn't have to do more than that. So, and especially since right now, until I can get in touch with the modder and find out exactly how I get those 240 residents into it, I'm not getting a lot out of it, most likely. So anyway, I tweaked that, and then you have to rename it, or you wind up with a real problem with your revised mod trying to copy back over the old mod. You have to rename it. I called mine BLDG for building dash Rotterdam dash BLS, my initials, revised, so that I knew that was the one that I needed to plop down. It wasn't going to cost so much that the city would tank. It's a really pretty building, and I love it, and I'm praying I can figure out, with the help of the modder, how to get those residents into that building. I zoned for high residential before I plopped the building, and it did have 8 visitors and 8 tourists when I last clicked on it, which is like nothing, and I don't think they pay into the city funds anyway. So let's see, we are definitely headed to the industrial area, it looks like. Up in front of you, off to the right, is the plateau that has 3 levels, lower, medium, high plateau neighborhoods, and that other one that I split off that I can't remember the name of now, that I was showing you earlier, how I split them in half. That's everything that's up there on the right, and eventually we're going to get through the freeway and to the industrial area, and then Kathleen will go to work, and we'll have to get out of her car quick so that we don't bounce back. Or maybe we should just maybe we should bounce back. I probably should at that point check the garbage, electricity, water, all that stuff anyway. Sick and dead, you have to check those things, but when I click on it, I will I'll put you on pause so you don't have to watch that. You can just watch me start to click on it, and then I'll check on it off camera and come back to you. That's given that, we're already at 7 and 18 minutes into the recording, so we may not be doing much more on this one, because by the time we get to the industrial area, there won't be much more time, I don't think. My voice is getting better. I'm so pleased. I can talk now. I can actually talk. I'm still coughing a little, but I can talk. Yay! Very happy about that. Very, very happy. I forgot how many of these trees we had out here. This is the forestry area that I had set up for forestry, although it's barely used at this point. You have to build it up slow. But the freeway actually runs right between the forestry area that's being used and the part that's not being used yet. And I don't know if most of you recognize the bridges that are coming. Well, given that we could see them past this truck. Why do I always wind up behind a truck? How come? That ruins everything. Well, up ahead of us, there is a bridge. There it is. An overpass bridge and tunnel that goes up to the plateaus from the industrial area. And those of you who've been watching my episodes from the beginning will remember this little area here where we started out with all of the landfills that I then closed as I was able to start using incineration plants. I still have to empty all of those on the right and the left. They all still have to be emptied and gotten out. Oh, and just to the right now is a lot of the cemeteries that I also was eventually able to replace with cremation buildings. Crematoriums, I guess that is. Just getting you guys back into the game here. Okay, we're in the industrial area now. And once she gets to where she's going, she's going to pop out of this car. And I love Tony 56. He makes a fantastic mod, which is what we're using right now. But I wish he could make it so that when they pop out of the car stays there long enough for you to, or at least your camera stays there with them, because the car disappears and then you disappear from that area and go back to where it started. And I tried doing the thing where you click on the person before they get into the vehicle, and then you're with the person when they get out. But unfortunately, you're up above them. Oh, here she goes. Up, there. Okay, I actually managed to get out of her. Whoa! Okay, she parked her car right there. See how close I can get. There, she parked her car right there. And we're going to get out of her car and get into her. Now, she's probably just going to go to this building over here. She's going to Goods Unlimited. Oh, that's it right there. So maybe I'll just, instead of, okay, I'm going to just pop down there with her so we can see her. Okay, now this is the lady we were riding with, and that blue car behind her, not the little bug, but the one that's all blue, is the car she was driving. And I'm going to turn it on now, and we can watch her. She's going to go into this building. There she goes, and she's gone. So, and we're now in the industrial area. Yay, hey. Not much fun being there, huh? Yeah. Okay, so popping out of here, just up sky high so we can get a better look at everything. Those of you who have been with me since the beginning of my episodes will recognize this. We added some extra on here, and I added some extra on here when I came back in that you wouldn't have seen earlier. And instead of having all of the garbage, there we go. Okay, all of these purple buildings that are shining purple light, they were all right here in this little rectangle of space where this one is. But I discovered that they pick up garbage better if I spread them out, and it doesn't matter if I spread them out because excuse me, because their pollution isn't going to hurt anything, because see, the industrial area is all polluted already. See all that brown stuff? So I could put them anywhere I wanted. Now over here in this area, in the residential area, I had to be much more careful. I swiped some from this I swiped some of the garbage refineries from here in the industrial area, and I plopped them down because they were previously servicing this area from industrial. But since I rezoned, I plopped them down in this area, and you can see the two of them if I can get down in there without having it jump on me too much. Okay, so you can see one here. See how close I can get. Apparently, okay, there's one group here. There's one here that only has 5 trucks out, but it's getting 332. It's almost up to its full capacity on garbage, which is 400,000 whatevers. And this one only has 2, and it's about half as much. It has only half as much garbage in it right now. Same thing for this one. So they're capable of handling more. And then there was this one up here, only because this one road, it was taking so long for those I just showed you to go all the way down and around and come back up this one road, which is not connected to these, okay, for a good reason. I had a good reason for it, which I could explain to you later, I guess. Anyway, I put 2 more up here, and one of them is almost at 300,000 out of 400,000, so pretty close to capacity. And this one is at 230,000 out of 400,000. So they're pushing it. But with the new districts mod, they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, you know, there's a little bit of brown right here. A little bit of brown. Okay. Not a whole lot. And I'm sure it's going to get darker and it might even turn red. But I did have, when I first did this, this whole thing was covered with these nasty little skulls. I don't know if you can see it in your, I can't get much closer. There we go. Right down here. That little skull above that building says that a dead person is waiting for transport. Almost every building had one, you know. So I had to also, I added a cemetery up here, right there, by the garbage facilities. And I also added one more of these, which I put here. These are, oh no, that's medical clinics, I'm sorry. One more of the crematoriums, which I put here. I left the other 3 down below. There's one for each loop of road. And I was hoping they'd stay in those loops. Of course, they don't. They go all over within that zone. But still, they have to hit these areas first. And there's the hope that they might pick somebody up. So I started with that one. Then I added this one when I saw that it wasn't picking up fast enough. So, you know, a few changes. Few tiny little changes. And we have 351 dead and 276 dead, which is way better than what I started out with, which was like 1,228 sick and over 900 dead. I mean, it was awful. And then it switched and it was like, you know, over 1,000 dead. It was nasty. So that's all taken care of now. And we're at 27 minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead and upload this one. It's going to take me a while in the City Skylines River Dance, which I'm going to next, to see how things are going to go there. But I think the mods that I have now are working fine with this city. And I'm going to go ahead and show them to you. That way you'll know which mods work well if you're trying to do the same city. Just hang on. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second. For you. A second. Hold. Okay. We have hard mode on, unlimited money turned off, unlock all progression turned on, automatic bulldoze turned on, remove decoration sprites is on, clouds and fog toggler is on, ambient sounds tuner, and this one, it actually tells us is by Arcomeda. A lot of them don't tell you. Pedestrian crossings is on by Spectra. Network skins is on. It was needed for one of the assets that I'll show you in a minute. Districts, that's the one I was telling you about that I'm using now. Restrict services within the current district that you create, and that's by G-S-T-E-I-G-E-R-T, G Steikert, and that's turned on. 81 tiles I was able to leave on. I was so thrilled with that. First person camera, of course, always. The game wouldn't be worth bothering with without it, by Tony56. And building search, which lets me go find that Rotterdam building when I want to place it, which is turned on. And then in the assets, I mean, I have a lot of them, but, and one of them is that Rotterdam building. No, I think I passed it. It was there a second ago. At least I think it was. There it is. Building Rotterdam BLS version. Okay. And see if I can find, of course that's all my parks and we won't go through those. But I think down here at the bottom, was, come on. There's the thing with the streets. Where's the streets? There's one that has street lamps that I wanted to show you. I'm going to put you on hold till I find it. Hang on. Okay, and then there is the triple lamp post by G.C. Voss. That's this one right here. It has the pretty lamp posts in it, and that's why I needed network skins in the mods, because otherwise you don't see the lamp posts. And all of that seems to be working fine on the game as it is now. So I just thought I'd let you all see that in case you wanted to know which mods are still working in the game and which ones I might have gotten rid of. I don't remember what I had anymore, but I took a lot of them out. Okay, so that's what we have, and we're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to be leaving you now, and I'm going to upload this one, and then I will start on Skylines River Dance, and maybe get that one up in a couple of days. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I am so thrilled to be back in my game. Okay, see you later. Bye.